The primary suspect in the kidnapping murder case of South Korean businessman Jee Ick Joo pushes the Korean mafia angle in his affidavit. Policeman Ricky Santa Isabel questioned the exclusion of several Korean nationals in the investigation. In his sworn affidavit, Santa Isabel highlighted earlier testimonies by the housemates of Jee's neighbors, saying they saw 3 Koreans force Jee into a vehicle outside his Angeles City home on October 18, 2016. One of the witnesses would later change her testimony. Santa Isabel also cited Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II's statements in a Senate hearing that the investigation should tackle the possible involvement of members of the Korean mafia. The Korean government, through its embassy here, hit Aguirre for making misleading statements. Even in jail, Senator Laila de Lima calls out the spokespersons of President Rodrigo Duterte and the Philippine National Police for denying what she calls state-sponsored extrajudicial killings. In a note she wrote in her cell, the detained senator says that, in due time, Duterte and his blind followers in his drug war would be held accountable for their actions. De Lima was reacting to the statements of presidential spokesman Ernesto Abella and PNP spokesman Senior Superintendent Jonardo Carlos in response to a Human Rights Watch report. Entitled License to Kill, the report says the PNP is behind extrajudicial killings in the war on drugs. More than 7,000 people have been killed in the Duterte administration's war on drugs since July 1. Official numbers from the PNP distinguish between suspected drug personalities killed in police operations and those killed by unknown assailants. The HRW report says these killings were not carried out by rogue officers or by vigilantes operating separately from the authorities. The report adds, police involvement in the killings of drug suspects extends far beyond the buy-bust operations. De Lima says to the president's and PNP spokespersons, stop insulting our intelligence, stop fooling our people and the rest of the world. Abella had dismissed the HRW report, calling it thoughtless and irresponsible. PNP spokesman Senior Superintendent Jonardo Carlos also refuted the international rights group's claim that the war on drugs is a war against the poor. President Rodrigo Duterte admits it was painful for him to sack National Irrigation Administration Chief Peter Lavinia, his former campaign spokesman. Asked during an interview with media in Cebu on Thursday, March 2, if the decision was painful, he said yes, of course. Duterte confirms he had told Lavinia to resign. The president prefers to fire government appointees by asking them to resign. He earlier sacked 2 Bureau of Immigration officials, his fraternity brothers, in this manner as well. Duterte also repeated his warning to his appointees not to humiliate him with reports of corruption. Duterte says the agreement was that they would work together in government, but in his words, this is clean and not for profit. He adds, don't embarrass me. If you do, we part ways. Rappler learned Lavinia earned Duterte's ire after he met with NIA directors in February. The director said her chief allegedly expected kickbacks from projects of NIA regional offices. Lavinia was Duterte's spokesman during his presidential campaign in 2016. The Philippine peso hits a new low against the US dollar Friday. The peso ended trading at 50 pesos and 4 centavos to $1 from the previous day's 50 pesos and 31 centavos. This is the lowest peso level against the dollar since September 12, 2006. A financial analyst says the peso would remain under pressure throughout the year because of the Duterte administration's plan to ramp up infrastructure spending. Financial markets are also volatile due to the rate hike in the US and Brexit. The only North Korean arrested over the assassination of Kim Jong-Nam is released Friday. Ri Jong-chol is among 8 North Koreans suspected of killing the half-brother of leader Kim Jong-un. Jong-Nam was poisoned with a nerve agent at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Police Chief Khalid Abubakar says he regrets the release. He says he believes Ri Jong-chol played a part in Kim Jong-nam's murder but lacks evidence to charge him. Abubakar says he is frustrated but denies political or diplomatic pressure had been a factor in the release, saying it was purely an investigative issue. Ri's release comes 2 days after 2 women were charged for the murder. Both women say they thought they were merely taking part in a prank video.